Thanks again, everyone, for being with us. I appreciate it very much. The American Conference has had another great season, and our teams perform on the biggest stage. You saw an absolutely great game this weekend. You saw another great game with UCF and USF, and I want to congratulate Tulane and UCF for reaching the championship, and Tulane hosting the game for the first time. That was the first time they've appeared in it, but also hosting it. 8 of our 11 teams have played for our conference championship in the past 8 years. That just shows how deep this conference is. I've touted the Power Six, and it's been real all along. And we have a shot to be the 8th to play on New Year's Day for the 8th time in 10 years. Not guaranteed, but a darn good shot based on where our teams have stood in the CFP rankings. And 6 teams have hosted our championship game over the years. We're also extremely pleased to have our championship game on ABC for the 8th consecutive year. Think about that. No one 10 years ago would have predicted that we'd have our championship game on ABC 8 consecutive years. That's pretty remarkable. It's been a fixture on championship Saturdays, produced some of the most exciting games in recent history, and also tremendous ratings. But again, I want to congratulate Tulane and Coach Willie Fritz for finishing atop the league in the regular season standings. From 2-10 to 10-2. That's pretty. I've used the word remarkable once or twice, but it fits again. And the challenges of last season were difficult with the hurricane and everything else. So tremendous job. Also want to congratulate, of course, UCF and Coach Gus Malzahn. We knew it would just be a matter of time before Gus had UCF back in the championship game. To do it in year 2 is quite an accomplishment, and they've been a solid team all year. As you know, they've only lost a couple of games, and the games they've lost, 3 games, have been very close and could have easily gone either way. Although I guess East Carolina wasn't quite as close, but the others, they could easily have beaten Louisville. They could easily have won, the others. So they've had a great season. And as you know, they've already played Tulane. It was a terrific game. They came out on top. This should be a tremendous championship game. It'll be one of the better rematches anybody has seen. We've seen the rankings all season. We've had as many as 3 teams in the top 25. That's pretty typical for us, and that validates what we said all along in our conference. Our teams expect to compete at the highest level. We competed last year for a national championship. This year, we're competing again for a New Year's Six Bowl, which we've played in many years. And as you know, we've had some other teams, including UCF, when they went on their 25-game winning streak, that easily could have been in the playoff, especially if the playoff had expanded earlier. Our game is one of 5 championship games. It has 2 ranked teams. The ACC, Big 12, SEC, and Pac-12 are the others. So we're right there with them, as we've been in the past. And I think we're well positioned to play in the Cotton Bowl. I don't want to jinx anything, but this would be 7 years out of 9 in the CFP era, and 8 out of 10 overall since our conference was reinvented. And we've had multiple teams contribute to that success. Temple's had some great years. Memphis has had some great years. Their rivalry with UCF was intense. We've had SMU have some great years, and others. USF had a few that were extraordinary. So everybody has contributed. Tulsa's been to our championship game. This conference has been deep. It's always been deep. Navy's had great runs in our conference. I think this is going to continue. In addition, I would mention that UTSA and North Texas are going to play in the Conference USA Championship game. Both of those teams come into the conference next year. So it's also worth noting. And one final thing worth noting is that Houston is now ranked number 1 in men's basketball in this week's AP poll. And that's the first time we've had a number 1 team in the AP. UConn was number 1 in the coaches poll after the 13-14 season, but the AP doesn't rank anyone after the NCAA tournament. So that's worth noting too about this conference. And although Houston will be leaving, we wish them all the best. The same thing with UCF and Cincinnati. And I would like to mention Luke Fickle, who has been just an absolutely wonderful addition to this conference, done a great job at Cincinnati, also a great human being. Wish him all the luck at Wisconsin, but he's been great for our conference. And, again, thrilled to have Gus Malzahn in the conference this year, and they'll be moving on, and we wish them well as Dana Holgerson at Houston. They've all made great contributions to our conference. This game will be absolutely, it'll be a barn burner, I'm sure, and we're looking forward to it. So again, congratulations to the 2 teams, their coaches and players. And Chuck, I'll be happy to take any questions that the reporters might have. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, we do have time for a couple questions. If anyone has anything, please use the raise hand feature in your chat and we'll get to you as many as we can. We can start with Kyle Nash from Black and Gold Banneret, please.
Commissioner, just curious, how big of an impact is Tulane appearing in the championship? How good a look is it for you guys as you kind of retool and reboot as a conference that they've made the run that they have?
It means something, Kyle, and it's encouraging also because, again, as I said, we've had a lot of teams in this conference compete pretty seriously over the years. The focus was on the 3 teams leaving, but Temple had great years under Matt Rule in this conference and went to our championship game, won it, 1 year, almost beat Notre Dame in one of the, what would have been one of the most stunning upsets. We had obviously great seasons out of Memphis. That Memphis UCF rivalry was incredible for a number of years. USF, UCF, that game they played on Black Friday several years ago might have been one of the best college football games ever played. We've had all these teams step up. So the fact that we now have Tulane is great. I'm not rooting for either team. UCF has been a great addition to our conference. We're thrilled, obviously, for Tulane as well. But it does show, I think, Kyle, the depth of the conference. And also, we've had committed administrators, hats off, to Troy Dannon at Tulane and also to Terry Mahajer and before him, Danny White at UCF and, Alexander Cartwright and Mike Fitz, the 2 presidents. They've really committed, and this league has had a commitment, and I think we're going to get a commitment from the new members as well. So I hope the DNA continues because it's been real. People have competed at the highest level. Does mean a lot that you have a team like Tulane, but if Cincinnati had won, I'd have been happy for them. I mean, Luke has been he's been great for our conference. Cincinnati's been great for our conference, and had they won a hard-fought game, then they'd be playing UCF, and that'd be great also. But no, we're excited about what the future might hold for this conference, even though it's going to be different. There's no question, no argument there.
Other questions for Commissioner Aresco? All right. Well, Mike, they're letting you off easy today. We'll.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I know what's behind that, but I guess
Well, and again, if anyone has any individual requests during the week too, for in a more personal setting, feel free to send them this way, and we'll be happy to accommodate as best we can. And Mike, of course, will be on the ground in New Orleans this weekend as well.
Well, first of all, Chuck, the reason people tune in are to talk to the coaches, to talk to obviously Willie and Gus, and that's who they should want to talk to. They don't need to talk to the commissioner. But I want to congratulate Gus and Willie on great seasons and good luck in the championship game. We're thrilled to have them both in it. They deserve to be there, and should be a great game. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And again, for any further requests for the commissioner, please just let me know. We'll accommodate as best we can.
Yeah, thanks, Chuck, for all you do, organizing everything. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Right. Okay, with that, we'll move on now to Coach Gus Malzahn and UCF. The Knights are 9-3, playing in their 3rd American Athletic Conference championship game, having won the championship in 2017 and 2018, looking for their 5th American title overall. Coach Malzahn, thanks for joining us, and congratulations on advancing to the championship game. If we could get your thoughts on the game itself and the matchup with Tulane before we go to questions, please.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, we're honored to be in the championship game, playing Tulane at their place. They're a very, very impressive football team, offensively, defensively, special teams. Their head coach is one of the best, along with their staff. So it's going to be a good one. We're familiar with each other, obviously playing each other, 3 weeks ago. So we're looking forward to playing.
Okay, we'll take questions for Coach Malzahn, please. We'll start with Kyle Nash, please, from Black and Gold Banneret.
Thanks, Coach. First of all, congratulations on making it to the championship. What do you feel like the biggest hurdle was this year that you had to cross to make it to this point?
Tell you what, we've had a few ups and downs. We had, obviously our quarterback, trying to stay healthy. We had a couple issues, and then, our backup coming in and doing a super job. So I just think overall our guys have played really good football to get to this point. And like I said, their goal all year was to be in the championship game and have a chance to win the championship. Now it's here before them, and so I'm just real proud of our team.
Well, next, do I see Mike Bianchi from the Orlando Sentinel?
Coach, congratulations. You were talking after the game against USF about how, to win championships or even to play for championships, you have to make big plays. I'm just wondering, the Alec Holler catch, have you seen that? I'm sure you've seen it on tape. What type of play was that? How did you think he got in bounds, and rank that catch as far as some other great catches you've seen?
Yeah, I tell you, it had the wow factor. There's no doubt about that. And, got a chance to watch it after the game, on my phone, and, the way that he caught the ball one hand, then he drug his foot, hit the pylon, and, was in bounds. In that moment, it's not just a great catch, but it's a great catch in that moment, in that rivalry, and helped us get us to the championship game. So it was really good as it gets.
What follow up, just Alec's story in general. Can you just talk about, how he got to where he's at?
Yeah, when I first got here, he was a walk-on, but the way he was performing on the practice field, I didn't realize he was a walk-on probably till, 2 weeks into the spring ball, and put him on scholarship right after spring. He's like a coach on the field. He plays our H-back position, which we give a lot of flexibility, and helps really give us information on how defensive ends and how defenses are playing. So he's a really good blocker. He does a lot of the dirty work. He doesn't get a lot of credit for that. And then, of course, when he has a chance to make a play, he's really had a really good season for us catching the ball too.
Thank you, Coach.
Next to Mark Narducci from Hero Sports, please.
Coach, could you update us on your quarterback situation? With you had mentioned about the hamstring with John Rice, just how things are with that.
Yeah, he's getting treatment. This is our off day today. He feels better than he did yesterday. The thing about, he's been dealing with this thing, for a few weeks. So, the good thing is he knows how to probably manage it. So, we're just hoping each day, he'll feel better and better.
Okay, thank you.
We'll take the next one from Ken Segura, please, Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Hey, Gus, I was going to ask you about Willie Fritz. I'm curious kind of what your history is with him and your thoughts about the job he's done at Tulane.
Yeah. I played coach against Willie when I was at Auburn. His team was extremely, tough. I think we won 20-something to 7 or something, but it was really a closer game than that. So I have a lot of respect for him as a coach. And then obviously we played him last year and we won at the end of the game. Last year was a real close game. And of course, this year, he's got those guys that have been playing, really good football for 2, 3, 4 years, got a veteran team, and they're so good defensively. Offensively, they run the football, which, I believe to win a championship, you have to do that. And so he's a really good coach, and it doesn't surprise me at all. I know last year, I think they only won 2 games or whatever. They didn't play when they played us. It didn't seem like a two win game. So I knew they were going to be really good this year.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll go to Gary Smith, New Orleans Advocate, please.
Hi, Gus. Just what are the challenges in playing a team that you beat once at their place and then getting a rematch with them and having to do it all over again?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is like playing one of the top teams in the country on their home field again. They're one of the best teams, I think. And, we had to play well, to beat them the first time. It went down, really, we had to recover onside kick. So, have a little experience playing the same team in a championship game before. So hopefully that'll help. But you just gotta, you gotta really put together your plans and be ready to adjust.
Take the next one from Ed Daniels, WGNO in New Orleans, please.
Hi, Coach. Spears has been so great for them. Everything they did in that game against Cincinnati kind of went off of what he did. What can you do to kind of remedy that situation for your defense, or is there one?
Yeah, he's a phenomenal player, and they do a really good job up front. The quarterback's a run threat too, so it presents a lot of challenges. But that they're committed to run the ball, and especially the last 2 weeks, and they ran it pretty good against us too. So that's really a focal point. We got to stop the run and really try to contain him, and they're really good at it.
We'll go next to Dan Tortora, Wake Up Call DT, please.
Coach, looking at the fact of coming into this conference last season and having success, having a winning record, and then being here this season. Just what you can say about the American overall and the level of competition that you've taken, knowing that this school is going to be moving on to the Big 12, just how you're leaving this conference and what you've taken from the conference.
Yeah, I've been very impressed. There's a lot of balance. There's probably more parity in college football than ever before, and this conference has some real teams, and it's week to week, and it's extremely hard to win on the road. There's some real impressive teams, and I've been impressed with this conference.
And you look at UCF and what success they've had over the past decade and a lot of these recent years with different coaches. What's it been like with your culture and your environment and the success you feel like you're having? How would you describe kind of UCF coming in when you got to the program and what it's looking like a couple of years in?
Yeah, of course, I'm real blessed to be here, and I took over a really good situation, and they left me some good players, and this place is used to winning. And I just always felt like if the right guy would get here and stay here and be committed to building this thing and not look at it as a stepping stone, it could be one of the best jobs in college football. And been here almost 2 years now, and I believe it more today than ever before, with how you can recruit and obviously the NIL and everything that goes with it. But there's no NFL teams in Orlando, and Orlando is an unbelievable place to live and go to school. And we got a great school and got great administration. So everything is set up for the future.
Thanks, Coach. Thank you for what you've done.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll take two more. We'll go with Eric Lopez, and then we'll follow up with Mike Bianchi. Eric, the floor is yours.
Coach, what's going to be the message to your players? You've coached in these championship games. What do you tell your players that haven't been in this situation that's going to be the key to decide to win a championship?
Yeah. I mean, everything, you need to play good, clean football and need to turn it loose. I mean, that's really what this is about. It's about best players playing their best games and the biggest moments. And so really excited to watch our guys, compete.
Okay, we'll go to Mike Bianchi for the last one, please.
Yeah, Coach, just one thing. What would it mean for this team and this program to last year in the American sort of momentum going into the Big 12 next year to win on Saturday?
Yeah. First of all, it's a big game regardless. And then the last year in the conference, that's bigger. And then of course, a bowl game for the really good bowl game for the winner. So there's a lot on the line here. It'll be big for us, big for our program. Playing like I said, I think they're one of the better teams in college football. I mean, they went to Kansas State and got after them pretty good too. So it'd be a big win for us.
Thanks.
Well, Coach, thanks for giving us a few minutes this morning. We'll see you in Orlando on Friday, and then and best of luck to you this week in preparation for Saturday.
Okay, thanks for having me, guys.
Okay, we'll take a minute and get set up with Coach Willie Fritz here in just a moment. Okay, and we're joined by Tulane head coach Willie Fritz. The Green Wave is 10-2, playing in the American Championship game for the first time. Coach Fritz, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on an outstanding season to date. If we could get your thoughts on your season hosting the championship game and the rematch with UCF before we go to questions.
Well, we're very excited. I apologize. I just walked off the practice field just a couple of moments ago, but we're really proud of the season that we've had so far. It's great to be able to host the game here in New Orleans. Obviously playing a fantastic opponent, UCF. I've got a ton of respect for Coach Malzahn and what he's done every place he's been at. I've followed his career. He's kind of, a high school coach, and I'm kind of an old JUCO coach, and he just I think does it the right way, and I think there's a lot of core principles we both share as far as how you're supposed to run a program, play a game. But it's great for our student athletes to be involved in a game like this, and we're proud to be one of the representatives of the American in the conference championship ball game.
Okay, we'll take questions for Coach Fritz. Again, please use the raise hand feature in the Zoom to get into the queue. We can start with Fletcher Mackel, please, WDSU.
Willie, sorry to start off with this topic, but given the reports yesterday out of Atlanta, is that something you can address, will address with your team, or can acknowledge in any way linking you to the Georgia Tech job?
God, that was quick, Fletcher. God almighty. I was thinking it might be question 3 or 4 or something like that. Wow. No, I talked to the team about that, and obviously the initial report gets more traction than the secondary report. And I'm the head football coach at Tulane. I'm extremely proud to be the head football coach at Tulane, and we're looking forward to the ball game on Saturday, and that's what I told our guys when I visited with them this morning. So, I don't want to talk about those kind of things. I want to talk about the ball game.
Thank you. Glad I got it out the way.
We'll go next to Brooke Kirchhoffer, please, WWL TV.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Good.
Getting to this matchup, having already faced Central Florida, how do you go about preparing for John Rice Prumley, and how much does it help having already faced him and seeing the talent he has?
Well, he's something else now. I mean, they coaches got some good schemes where, a lot of times there's very similar quarterback run plays that you get, and he does some a little bit different with his quarterback. And, he showed how great of an athlete he was at the end of our first game when he went out there as a receiver, which he was an excellent receiver at Ole Miss as well, before he transferred over to UCF. So great speed, good size, and they probably didn't get enough credit for his throwing ability, and then the other young man we played against a year ago, Mikey Keene, and he also is not as much a dual threat as Plumlee, but he runs the ball effectively and really throws it. And so 2 very good quarterbacks.
Pick the next one from Garland Gillen, please, Fox 8.
You're muted there, Garland.
Garland, you need to unmute yourself if you would. We can try again.
Got it, Willie. I'm sorry.
There
You're
you
there
go.
now.
There you go.
Hey, well, just to follow up on Fletcher, but is it kind of a distraction this week? You're in the biggest game in Tulane history, and now this is out there. And I mean, that's unfortunate, but it's out there now.
Well, there's when you have success, sometimes, this happens, I guess. I don't know, but no, it's not in any way, shape, or form. And, it's a benefit of having, a lot of veteran leadership on our squad. And, I addressed it this morning and told them I'm all in, and our goal is going 1-0 this week.
We'll go next to Dan Tortora, please. Wake Up Call DT.
Willie, you've won everywhere you've been. And I remember when you first came into Tulane, I had somebody come over to me and say, watch that coach. He'll find a way to do it here. Where is Tulane from where you started to where you are right now? And do you feel like that rebuild that you were working on has come to a place that you're proud of up to this point?
No, I'm very proud of where we're at right now. This is a hard game to get to. And we played a tough schedule, and I'm extremely proud of where we're at right now. It's, there's a lot of great things to sell here at Tulane. And, first and foremost is the opportunity to get a world-class education. We talk about it all the time. Second, we could play in a great conference. I heard our commissioner talking about it a little while ago. We feel like this is an awesome conference, and, you get to test yourself week in and week out. Then you get to do it in the city of New Orleans, so, we felt like if we could get the right guys that, shared our vision and what we're looking for, we had an opportunity to be successful. We had a lot of years in there where we were really close to having some, big time success, and went to 3 bowl games in a row, which they hadn't done here at Tulane in the history of a football program. But, this year I just think it was a combination of really great leadership from our upperclassmen and guys that have played a lot of football here at Tulane, and, and embracing, what we're all about as far as our philosophy and how we like to do things here.
It's been a roller coaster. You were in first place, and then there was a shakeup, UCF, Cincinnati. the last week became the most important week, and you went into Nippert Stadium, a very difficult place to play that had the second longest active streak of home wins with 32 when you came in. Just what you can say about the roller coaster of a season, and not only getting to this championship game, but doing it the way that you did it in such a hostile environment.
Well, that was big time for us. It's a tough place to play. They've got tremendous fan support, and our guys really played well in all three phases. Offensively, we 0 turnovers, ran the ball well, had big pass plays when we needed them. Same thing defensively. When we needed to rise to the challenge, we did, and thought we did a pretty good job in the kicking game and giving ourselves good starting field position, off of punt returns, kickoff returns, those things. So that's how you got to play if you're going to, have an opportunity to win at a place that is, they had 32 wins in a row. So we're very proud of that game and how the guys executed the game plan last Friday.
Thank you.
Go next to Gary Smith, the New Orleans Advocate, please.
Hi, Willie. Just what are your thoughts on a rematch? You played a close game with them at your stadium already. Are there any advantages to having lost? You know what adjustments to make, that kind of thing?
Every game is unique, and there will be some carryover because you can watch yourself on film playing them, and just a few weeks ago playing them. But obviously they're very well coached, and they've got great player, big team, very big team on the offensive line and the defensive line, and excellent team speed. So we're going to play extremely well on Saturday. We know that.
As a follow-up, they won the line of scrimmage battle in the first meeting for the most part. Is that the biggest challenge to figure out a way to change that around?
Well, obviously you want to win up front, in order to be successful, offense or defense, you got to win up front. But they're not only big, they're talented. They can move. Sometimes you get real big guys and they're kind of stationary objects. These guys aren't. They've got very good movement.
Okay, we'll go next to Ken Segura, please, Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Hey, Willie, how are you?
Good.
Good. Can you, we've asked about it before, but can you address kind of where things stand with you and Georgia Tech?
I've answered that question before. It's I don't want to get into someone else's business, and all our focus is on this ball game, it's Saturday at 3:00.
Actually, something entirely different. That I appreciate your answer. What would you say are the hallmarks of a Willie Fritz coach team?
We talk about the playing to win, and part of that is winning the turnover takeaway battle. That's big. In my career, I think we've won 90% of our games. We've been +1 or better. And I heard Coach talking about it a little bit, Coach Malzahn, about the run game, how important it is. I do believe you got to be able to run the ball effectively to win championships. Very involved with special teams here, always have been at every place I've ever been at, and that's kind of the hidden yardage that sometimes doesn't you don't see in the stat page. We pride ourselves in playing discipline and trying to eliminate those pre and post snap penalties, and so those are some of the things that we emphasize here at Tulane.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go next to Madeline Adams, please, Fox 8.
Hey, Willie, before the season, all the players talked about the goal is to get to a conference championship and win a conference championship. I'm just curious, what's the energy been like so far at practice this week now that the opportunity is here?
Awesome. We just had our first practice today, and the guys are fired up. There's only 2 teams that are playing this weekend from the American, and we're one of them. So we're extremely excited about that.
Okay, just blast through a couple more real quick, some quick follow-ups. Brooke Kirchhoffer, please, WWL TV.
Coach, sorry to ask about this again, but are you able to confirm or deny just that Georgia Tech expressed interest in you or has reached out to you?
I don't really take care of those things, that's what you, so I don't really want to get into somebody else's business, and And, I think I've answered the question a few times. I know you're doing your job, but I'm doing my job. That's getting our guys prepared and playing their tails off Saturday.
Thanks, Coach.
Fletcher McKell, please.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't unraise my hand. I apologize.
No worries. We'll go to Garland Gillen then, please.
I'm done. Oh, no.
Okay. And then maybe last one, Eric Lopez, Black and Gold Banneret in Orlando.
Coach, what's going to be one thing that you want to change from the first meeting to this meeting that you think can make a difference in the game from watching the film of the first meeting? What's one thing that has to change for your team to be successful?
We got to do a better job with the quarterback run. You got to play 11-on-11 football against Gus's team, and we got to do a better job playing the quarterback. We didn't do a great job of that, and then we didn't play great offensively early in the ball game as well. We got to play consistently throughout all 4 quarters. So those are a couple things.
Coach, thanks for giving us a few minutes this morning, and appreciate, especially right after practice. So appreciate the time, and we'll look forward to seeing you in New Orleans this week.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, that concludes our formal session today. A reminder again that the next conference sponsored media availability will be Friday in New Orleans at 4 p.m. Central Time. Thanks everyone for joining us today. Let us know if we can assist with anything during the week.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you.